Okay, so I got myself a 78 signal on the Deus 2, just close to where that can is, and it is of course a lead bullet. And this is what I mean, where over there it's just carpeted in them, but what I'm looking for is the point at which they were firing from. So I'm going to head over in that direction and see if I can find something else. Yeah, interesting. Moving on. Well, this might be my first decent find. 76 on the Deus 2, bringing up storming signal, not very deep. Well, one GoPro battery down. It's cold, it's plus 2 degrees. Yeah, there we go. Button from Button Moon. I don't know how modern that is. The shank's still there, it's quite fine, so I don't think it's particularly old, but it's also not particularly new. No, 1800s maybe. Okay, moving on. And straight after that button, up in the 80s, 83, was this. Ooh, okay, that wasn't what I was expecting. I thought it was going to be another bullet. Not bullet, button. And it could still be a button, but that's actually lead. Be interesting to clean that off and see if anything's on it. Cool, very cool. I'll hang around here for a bit. Moving on. I don't know if you guys can see that. Old fireplace. And just by the side of it I got an 80 signal, and I thought, screaming 86, you know, it's probably a bottle cap or something like that. And just below the surface here, let me get my glove off. Is this. Now there's a pattern on that, so I'm assuming that's some kind of pin or brooch. Don't know what it is exactly. Don't think it's old by the looks of it. But yeah, a bit of jewellery for today. That will clean up and we'll take a look at it later. Moving on. And this is what I keep finding predominantly, these lead bullets scattered everywhere. Not as thickly as on that hillside that I found, literally hundreds of them now, don't know why, but all around it there are these bullets throughout the woods. I've no idea what happened here, but there's not much other than bullets. You would think they would have been dropping some more stuff, but who knows. Moving on. Not the easiest of ground to go through with these little trees here, and I hit a 56, 58, and you know that number with the Deus 2 is usually just trash, but there's something here, and that does not look like trash. That looks like a religious medallion of some kind, pendant. See the top piece is broken off, but that's a cracking find. Probably one of the last ones I'm going to find on today. You can see in the background there's a bit of snow. It's quite cold. My batteries keep dying on my GoPros, and I think I'm moving on. And always recheck your hull before you leave. I don't know what that is, but I'm assuming it must be something to do with that pendant I just found. Although that's very peculiar, but very, very cool. Moving on. And checking the hole again was this piece of chain. So that's really interesting. That was a 32 on the Deus 2, typical junk signal that you would not dig normally. But yeah, that's amazing. So probably a bracelet, maybe. Could also have been a necklace, I guess. Let's see if I can find any more of this. Moving on. Well, that's it for me, guys. It's a beautiful wintry day, and I think that's enough for me. I hope you've enjoyed. Had a few interesting finds, nothing too spectacular, but stick with me, there'll be more to come. Moving on. So where do I go with this wrap up? Yeah, let's start with this. Bit of hair. Don't know what this is. Couldn't see any detailing particularly on it. But there might be, there's my imagination. Yeah, no, I don't know what this is. It could be a button. They did sometimes make buttons out of lead, but that's a big old lumpy button. You wouldn't want to carry that around, or too many of those on you. But I don't know exactly what it is. That is a button, quite a nice one, quite old, but not particularly old. A little bit of a random lead find. Don't know exactly what that would have been. The usual bullets that I find in that area, all different types, you know, musket balls, these little tiny lead bullet ends, and these 2 rings bullets. This was an interesting one. This is a lead ball, but it's hollow. There's something inside it, but yeah, it's not a solid ball. Kind of cool. Let's get those out of the way. Took me a while to figure this one out. You know, I was looking at it thinking, what is it? Can't see what it is. Is it a bird? Is it a plane? And actually, yeah, it is a plane. A very cool jet plane. So somebody would have been quite upset to lose that, I think. It's very nice. And then we have these wonderful pendant. Can't get the full details of it, but it's absolutely beautiful. And this piece clearly goes with it because it has the same markings on that side, and it obviously has similar, oops. You know, I can't fully make out what the writing is on that, but it's a very, very cool find nonetheless. And I did find it with all of this chain. So yeah, another one to hand into the archaeology department. I don't know how old it is. I mean, it could be something interesting for them. It also might be made later. I suspect it's sort of late 1800s, so it won't be something that they will be wanting, but you never know. Perhaps they'll say it's a little bit older. Anyway, guys, thank you very much for watching my video all the way to the end. I appreciate each and every one of you, and I will see you on the next one. Moving on.